Embracing the spectrum beyond physicality and into boundless self-love. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Sunena Pandé, or Dr. Sun for short. I have a PhD in metaphysical parapsychology. And today we're going to explore what it means to embrace the full spectrum of our identities. We're going beyond physicality, beyond the definitions of gender and self that society imposes on us. We are diving deep into what it means to live beyond labels and to love ourselves as the multidimensional beings that we are. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, there's more to me than what I see, then this talk is for you. Today, we're going to explore how embracing the full spectrum of who we are opens up possibilities for deeper love, acceptance, and freedom. I want to share a story about my daughter, Moon, who taught me so much about identity. When I was pregnant, I had a deep intuitive sense that I was carrying a girl, and I named her in my mind Isis Moon. And I knew that she was going to bring light and magic into the world. It felt so real to me. But then I found out I was having a boy. I was confused. I was sad. I was kind of even offended. I mean, how did I get that wrong? I felt like I had lost this child that I intuitively knew. So I picked another name for him, but deep down, I never really let go of that sense of knowing. Years later, my child came out to me as transgender. We sat down to talk about it, and I asked her, "What's your name? What do you want to be called?" And without knowing anything about the name I had chosen during pregnancy, she said, Moon. In that moment, everything came full circle. I realized that I had known her all along. I had known her essence even before the world had told me otherwise. This experience showed me that identity goes so much deeper than what we see or the labels the world gives us. It's something we know deep within ourselves, even if the world doesn't recognize it yet. If you've ever experienced that deep, intuitive knowing about yourself or someone you love, type knowing in the comments. I've lived this journey myself too. After surviving multiple battles with cancer, including the loss of my breasts, these are reconstructed, my body became something I didn't recognize. But it wasn't just the physical changes from the cancer treatment that impacted me. It was the hormone therapy and hormone manipulation that altered my very sense of self. As a result of these treatments, I found myself shifting into a non binary identity. The manipulation of my hormones brought me to a place where I no longer felt connected to a strictly male or female identity. I also became asexual. And because of both of these transformations, I embraced being self partnered. So I'm the A in LGBTQIA, LGBTQIA, in case you've never met an A before. This journey taught me that identity goes so far beyond the physical. It's not about conforming to society's standards of femininity, masculinity, or even sexual orientation. It's about embracing the full fluid spectrum of who we are. And if you've ever felt like your identity doesn't fit neatly into a box, type beyond the binary in the comments down below. This understanding of identity as something fluid and beyond the surface isn't just a modern idea, it's ancient. And it's beautifully illustrated in the Hindu concept of Ardhanarishwara. In Hinduism, Ardhanarishwara represents the perfect blend of masculine and feminine energies in a single form. The deity is half Shiva the embodiment of masculine, and half Parvati, the embodiment of the feminine. Ardhanarishwara is a powerful symbol that reminds us gender isn't a binary switch. It's not as simple as being fully one thing or another. Each of us carries both masculine and feminine energies. And the balance of these energies is where we find wholeness. Just like men and women both carry estrogen and testosterone, no one is fully one gender or the other. We are all a blend. And it is in that blend that we find balance. If you've ever felt like your identity is a blend of different energies, type balance in the comment section down below. In yogic philosophy, we understand that our physical bodies are just one small part of who we are. We are made up of 5 layers or koshas that go so much deeper than our physical appearance. These koshas give us a framework for understanding the full spectrum of our being. The first is Annamaya kosha, the physical body, the food body. It's the outermost layer and the one that we are the most familiar with, but it's also the most superficial part of us. Pranamaya kosha, the energy body, which holds our vital life force. This is the layer that keeps us alive, our breath and our energy systems. Manomaya kosha, the mental body, where this is the layer where thoughts and emotions live. It's the mind that influences our experience of the world. Vijnanamaya kosha, the wisdom body, our intuition and our insight. This is the part of us that knows things deeply and beyond logical thinking. Anandamaya kosha, the bliss body, the innermost layer, which connects us to pure joy and consciousness. When we focus only on the physical body, the Annamaya kosha, we lose sight of these other parts of our being. True healing and self-acceptance come when we engage with all 5 layers. Our identity doesn't just live in one layer, it's the interplay of all of them. The drag queens and transgender individuals I've spoken with often focus on surgeries, makeup, procedures, and achieving physical perfection. But true transformation comes when we tap into the other koshas, when we start to recognize the pranamaya kosha energy body and understand that we are so much more than just our physical appearance. If you're ready to explore all 5 layers of your being, type layers in the comment section down below. This concept of fluidity in gender and energy was understood in ancient India long before colonization imposed rigid binary ideas of gender on us. Colonization brought a more limited, constrained view of gender roles, which many of us are still struggling to unlearn. But ancient Indian wisdom, like the teachings of Ardhanarishwara, knew better. Gender is fluid. Energy is fluid. We are all a mix of masculine and feminine, and the real goal isn't to try to fit in one box, but to balance these energies within ourselves. In honoring Ardhanarishwara, we honor our true nature as fluid, dynamic beings. And in returning to this ancient wisdom, we let go of the limiting definitions that have been imposed on us and reclaim the fullness of who we are. If you're ready to explore this balance in yourself, type embrace balance in the comment section down below. This journey of exploring fluidity and identity has led me to write about these concepts in several of my books, which are available on Amazon My book, Beyond Binary, illustrated by Moon, explores the whole spectrum of gender and identity, diving into lived experiences of non binary and gender diverse individuals. It offers insights into what it means to live beyond the traditional categories of male and female. The Ardhanarishwara Charitra, metaphysical wisdom of gender fluidity. I explore the ancient wisdom of Ardhanarishwara and how the balance of masculine and feminine energies frees us from the rigid gender roles. It's about how embracing this balance can unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose. Eternal Mother, Sacred Gender, looks at the worship of the goddess Yalama, who is deeply connected to the transgender community in South India. This book explores how Yalama chooses her devotees and how being chosen is seen as a sacred blessing in the rituals and practices that surround her worship. This is especially meaningful for understanding how ancient traditions honor gender fluidity and non binary identities. They do. In Sacred Sensual Stone, which I do not yet have a copy of in this office, I explore the intricate LGBTQIA, LGBTQIA carvings in the ancient Chandela temples of Khajuraho, India, highlighting how these temples celebrated diverse expressions of gender and sexuality long before modern society acknowledged them. Through this book, I shed light on the spiritual and cultural significance of the carvings, showcasing how they represent a rich legacy of inclusivity in ancient Hindu art and architecture. Cool, right? Each of these books is a tool for reimagining identity, gender, and self love. They're available now on Amazon, and I invite you to dive deeper into these concepts if you feel called to do so. If you're interested in exploring these ideas further through my books, type books in the comment section down below. This understanding of gender and identity as fluid and dynamic is also what inspired me to create the Ardhanarishwara temple. The temple is a sanctuary for non binary, gender fluid, and LGBTQIA individuals, a space where we can all explore and express our full selves without fear or judgment. The temple is not just about spirituality, it's also about reclaiming ancient wisdom in a world that often fails to understand the complexity of gender and identity. In today's world, especially here in places like Florida, we see attacks on transgender rights and an overall misunderstanding of non binary and gender fluid individuals. But just as Ardhanarishwara reminds us, none of us is fully one thing. We all carry a blend of energies within us. The goal is to honor that blend, not to reject it. The Ardhanarishwara temple serves as both a spiritual and hopefully soon a physical refuge, a place where people who feel marginalized because of their gender or sexual identity can come together, be seen, and be celebrated. It's about providing a sacred, safe space for healing, reflection, and empowerment. And it's about protecting our right to exist in our full, beautiful spectrum of identities. If you believe in creating sacred, safe space for everyone to live authentically, type freedom in the comments below. Before I close, I want to offer something very special to everyone who's joined me here today. I've created a course called the Pineal Portal course, designed to help you activate your third eye and tap into the deeper layers of your consciousness. This course is a guide to unlocking your highest potential, exploring the realms of altered states of consciousness, and accessing the wisdom and intuition that lie beyond the physical. The Pineal Portal course is available on my new app, Life in the Bliss Lane, where you'll find resources, teachings, and tools to support your personal and spiritual growth. Whether you're looking to explore deeper meditation practices or align with your higher self, or simply discover new ways to heal, this course will help you connect to your inner power and navigate the full spectrum of your being. If you're ready to access your higher potential and unlock newer dimensions of your being, type Bliss Lane in the comments and we'll get you set up with free access to the Pineal Portal course. Here's what I want you to take away. You are more than just a body. You are a soul, an energy, a consciousness that is vast and fluid. We don't have to fit into boxes. We are free to express ourselves, love ourselves, and embrace the full spectrum of our being. Whether you're like my daughter, who knew herself before the world did, or whether you're still discovering who you are, it's okay. It's okay. It's all part of the journey. We are boundless, we are fluid, and we are worthy of love in every expression. If you're ready to live beyond labels and you want to be set up with my course and my app, or if you simply want to help support the Ardhanarishwara temple and help create safe space for the most vulnerable population in our society, type Bliss Lane in the comments down below to get set up with access today. Thank you so very much for attending my talk, and I look forward to coming across each of you on the Bliss Lane.